Welcome to Pegasus Auto Racing Supplies. I'm Zach Moore on Techline, and today we're going to talk about push-pull cables. These are a great line for us. We really have a lot of good uses for them. People use them for all sorts of things like sway bars. They'll use them for throttle cables. They'll use them for different suspension components, shift linkages. They really have a lot of uses anytime where you need to actuate something in both directions and you don't want to deal with binding of like Z-bars and bulkheads and all that good stuff. This really helps, kind of make sure everything operates smoothly and correctly. Now, we do have quite a few different variants. These would be pretty much all of them. The only thing that's not out here is a bulkhead version, because we're going to explain bulkheads between these two, so we don't really need that. But we have two different sizes that we actively stock. We can get other sizes custom made, but for parts that we actively stock, we have two different sizes here. It would be 1032 and quarter 28. Now, amongst those two sizes, there are two different mounting styles. This would be a clip-in style. You can tell because there is no mounting nut or anything like that. There is just a metal piece with a little slot in it. And then we also have bulkhead styles. These would be two different uses for two different styles for two different uses. The bulkhead styles would be going through firewalls, going through a welded on bracket, stuff like that. The clip-in style would be for having a bracket right on the side of like on a trans or something like that. Something where you might be servicing a lot. Something like this works really well because you don't have to adjust anything. You don't have to deal with anything. You can just unclip it. On top of that, if you were to pair this with some of our quick release ball style ends, it really is very quickly to just detach it from whatever the component is if it's something that might get removed a lot, like a transmission or an engine, where you might be using, might be replacing engines or doing trackside service, stuff like that quite frequently. Now, the other things that these really do work very well for would be suspension components, predominantly stuff like sway bars or adjustable sway bars where you have your little lever and the handle that goes back and forth to adjust the stiffness of your blade style sway bars. Typically, you can get away with 1032 on that. It's really not a very high stress environment. The quarter 28s would be for much heavier duty stuff, stuff like equipment, machinery, stuff like that. Now, that brings us to these. These would be a vernier control head. These are pretty cool because this you can't just actuate this very easily like you can with one of these. These I can sit here and do that all day. It takes very little effort, very little strain. It's very fluid, even with it tied as tight as this. But this with a vernier, it's locked in place. I can't do anything. Now, you'll notice that there's a big hex here, and as you spin that, you'll see this slowly comes out and the cable slowly goes in. Spin it the other way, goes the other direction. Now, if that's too slow, because let's be honest, it is pretty slow, there's also a red push button. You can push the button in, and now you can actuate it quickly and easily. These are fantastic for predominantly a lot of equipment stuff where you need to make small adjustments, turn stuff in, turn stuff out, very small finite adjustments. You could also use this as a sway bar control without using the T-handle because it does lock in place. So these are great for stuff like that where you have to make small finite increments of adjustments because it just turns if you need to make a small adjustment, or if you need to make a large rapid adjustment, you can just do that. So like I said, we can get different lengths ordered for you. We do stock these in a very, very, very wide range of lengths. We have them all the way down to, I think, 17 inches or 12 inches. It's very short, all the way up through over 144 inches. So And that's just what we stock. Like I said, we can get whatever you need coming. Another thing to note is all of ours are a 3-inch travel. That's pretty standard. That's what most stuff is. It's what most stuff uses. There are other series. These would be a 3 series. There are other series that have different lengths of travel. These are just what we stock. So that is the basics of the push-pull cables that we stock, and let us know if you need anything different than what we carry. It's not a problem. We can get it coming just for you.